to help our children deal with this 21st century challenges?
Oh, I think teachers and parents play one of the biggest role in dealing with these challenges. Uh, so 21st century and its challenges are going to be slightly unique. So first and foremost, uh, the parents and teachers need to be sensitized the importance uh, of resilience, the importance of problem solving, the importance of EQ, the importance of SQ, and the parents and the teachers need to be told how to identify the red flags. So identification of red flags and early intervention will play a key role because it is like personality in making, and when the personality is in making, if you can get corrective measures. I myself suffered from dyslexia and ADHD, and who better could tell you what parents and what kind of a role a parent could play. I was uh, I was suffering from dyslexia, which I realized when I went for MD psychiatry. And the textbook, suddenly my teacher told me, "Hey man, all these symptoms are seen in you, Nitin. I think you are a dyslexic." And I went back and started reading. And to my surprise, I was fitting in 100% of the criteria for ADHD and dyslexia. So ADHD and dyslexia is such a thing that which is so difficult to diagnose because the child is normal, and because the child is normal, we feel as if the child is not paying attention or the child is not putting in enough efforts. Actually, if my parents knew that this is a reading writing disorder and a hyperactive disorder, they would have dealt with it differently. Now, I would like to share how my parents dealt with my ADHD and dyslexia. They were genuinely concerned about me. So, what they did was, my hyperactivity was so unmanageable that I used to stay in a 300 square foot flat. Uh, matlab the colony was big, but the flats were small. And handling a guy like me in that 300 square foot flat was highly impossible. I used to be all over the place, and I had about three sisters. So five of us used to stay in an apartment, and the my parents used to they used to take me out in the garden or on the roads because there was not too many vehicles on the road, and I used to run behind cats, dogs, murgi, bakri, and they used to make me run for 1.5 hours, and then I used to be tired and go to sleep. Then what they did was they used to actually tie me by the bed under the bed. वो बड़ी वाली कॉट होती थी ना पहले ज़माने में, तो वो बड़ी वाली कॉट को मेरे को रस्सी से बांध दिया करते थे एक हाथ और बोलते थे तू वागोबा है. So I used to be happy being Vagoba, and I have to be under the bed. So they restricted my area and they kept me happy. So I was not kind of tied down like वो कुत्ता बिल्ली को जैसा बांधते हैं वैसा नहीं था. I used to enjoy doing that. Afterwards, when I grew up and went in 8th standard or 10th standard, what they did was they put me into athletics. So in athletics, what you used to do is athletics used to take a lot of energy. So every day I used to work out for 1 or 2 hours, and my energy used to get exhausted. But my dyslexia became a real pain. I failed miserably. I had to give a re-exam in my school. I failed miserably in my college, in my medical career. I had 3 attempts, and because of that, my self-image and my self-confidence and my 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 ability to kind of read, write, or perform on stage was down. And I used to have such a poor image that despite I knowing everything, I could never answer questions or go on the stage. I was extraordinary at debate, elocution, and you name the sport. And I used to represent the school, I used to represent the state, I used to represent nationals. I've got a national gold in my 11th, 10th standard, in inter schools as well as amateurs. but always carried a bad self-image and that self-doubt. If possibly I was diagnosed early, and if I was told that this is my gray area, and uh, I was a national hurdle record holder in a national level. बट एकेडमिक्स बोले तो काला अक्षर भैंस बराबर एंड मुझे डर लगता था पढ़ना है तो किसी ने बोला नितिन खड़े होके पढ़ो तो गॉन लाइक आई टू so that kind of bad self-image actually put me behind. But if we could tell that this is the only gray area and you have 10 white areas which are very important in life, it would have made a huge difference. I finally, in this quarantine time, I read the entire child chapter. I listened to 50, 100 TED Talks, and I've gathered the courage to go, and because this is the first time possibly I am on recording the sessions or anything. मुझे रिहैब में स्किज़ोफ्रेनिया के पेशेंट्स के सामने भी भाषण देने को बोलते तो तत होती थी. Not that I didn't know, but I mean I was not the same. But I've now realized that, yes, I can do things in a much better manner than what anybody can, and hence I've got back that confidence, got back that self-image, self-doubt wala image, and but it took me 50 long years to do it. So because it was not made, because I mean there was no professional help at that point in time. I'm fortunate that my parents and my family dealt with it in such a beautiful manner with small tricks. I think they would be useful to most of the children and most of the parents. So identifying the red flags and being able to give the inputs. So teachers and parents both need to be taught how to deal with these kind of challenges. And I think if they do it, as I was reading and I listened to a few TED Talks wherein people said 40% of the MIT graduates are dyslexic. 50% to 60% of the rehab addiction clientele is ADHD dyslexic. So, by and large, if you become a school dropout because of your ADHD and dyslexia, then one, that you become a gunda, two, that you become a कट्टे पे बैठने वाला और दंगा करने वाला, या तो you go into addiction. Because 10th 12th वालों को कोई job opportunities ऐसे कुछ है ही नहीं. So getting them through those hurdles, and then they would come as winners, because and 30 to 40% of the self-made entrepreneurs are dyslexic and ADHD. Can you beat that? So 40% of MIT guys, 30 to 40% of entrepreneurs, 50 to 60% of addicts, and gundagardi. They are all from the same business. So it's such a mixed basket. So I think if we actually do it properly, it would make a big difference, and we would have more entrepreneurs. We would have more out of the box thinkers. We would have better these things if we could just correct their self-image and clear their self-doubts and show them that this is the only gray area you have. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Dalaya. It was amazing to listen to your journey, how you have grown up to be such a big entrepreneur. And I hope that during this mental health week, this message of yours helps so many other children and their parents to reach to the new heights in the coming 21st century. Thank you so much.